Welcome back, Advisory Council members, and welcome to our partners and participants from outside of the Advisory Council. I'd like to welcome you to the February meeting and give a thank you to all of our members who are able to join us today. We will go ahead and move on to our land acknowledgement and mission moment. A land acknowledgement is a formal statement recognizing the Indigenous people of a place. It is a public gesture and appreciation for the past and present Indigenous stewardship of the lands that we now occupy. The Anchorage Coalition to End Homelessness and the HPRS Advisory Council would like to acknowledge that we gather today on the traditional lands of the Dena'ina Athabascans. For thousands of years, the Dena'ina have been and continue to be the stewards of this land. It is with gratefulness and respect that we recognize the contributions, innovations, and contemporary perspectives of the Upper Cook Inlet Dena'ina. I'm going to be talking a little bit with today's mission moment about a program that is very dear to my heart. Rural CAP operates a housing first program called Carluck Manor. A lot of people have likely heard of Carluck Manor, and Carluck Manor celebrated its 10th anniversary in December of 2021. And my mission moment today is a story about a successful participant. In 2021, we had a couple come to us from the Sullivan Arena through coordinated entry, and they moved into Carluck Manor and immediately engaged with our case management staff there. And our case management staff were able to work with them, reunite them with family members that they had down in the lower 48, and really foster that communication between these participants and their family. And last month, one of the family members had a need for some support, and this particular couple had reached a place in their recovery that they were actually able to successfully leave Carluck Manor, move down to the lower 48 to be near their family, and moved into permanent housing down there and have been down there for just about a month now, successfully maintaining housing with connections to support with a partner organization in that state. And so I just wanted to share that. Stories like that are so meaningful to me, to be able to see people move along their healing journey, and for Rural CAP to be able to be a part of that journey with them. For chair report, I will talk a little bit about the committee work that is being done by our committees. We have been reestablishing the support for that committee, or for all of our committees. But I am excited to report that we are currently working on updates and review of our written standards, and working that through the committee review updates, and we'll hopefully be bringing that forward to be finalized and approved soon. The coordinated entry committee is also working on the next few months, bringing back the updates to Anchored Home, and hopefully have some updates to share about that in the future as well. I would also like to invite anyone who is a member or anyone who is just attending today. If you have any information requests or presentation requests that you would like to share, we're happy to take that into consideration and use that in building out our future agendas to bring information that is meaningful to you as part of those presentations. I will hand off over to Meg to give the coalition report.
Thanks, Jessica. I'm actually going to hand over to Celia, our Director of Programs and Services.
Well, hi, I'm Celia McLeod. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm the new Director of Programs and Services for the Anchorage Coalition to End Homelessness. This is week 4 for me. So I have a couple talking points that I wanted to bring up. The first one is about the government update, and it is that the coalition, along with the balance of state, is working on a legislative initiative for ARPA money to fund an Alaska Housing Trust. I think the coalition is going to send out some more information via the listserv over the next week. And we're going to be available for questions, feedback, or concerns. Owen Hutchinson, who's the Director of External Relations, is the point of contact. I'll put his name in the chat, but his information is also available on the coalition's website. The second point to talk about today or to update on is the facilitation updates. And ACH has provided a comprehensive update to providers and completed a presentation a couple weeks ago to the providers and also to the assembly. If you missed that or would love a refresher, the person to contact is Taria Ware, who's our Systems Improvement Administrator. The Sockeye Inn as a complex care shelter and transitional housing program is nearing the go, no-go decision date in terms of closing on the facility and securing an operator. I think the word that I have is that we'll know for sure by the next advisory council meeting what that looks like. The Barrett Inn appears to require more investigation and may cost more in terms of remodeling, so that's a capital cost. Another location for a hotel conversion to workforce permanent supportive housing is under investigation. The final part on facilitation is that we're still working with the deadline that mass care is set to close at the end of June, unless the municipality provides an updated deadline otherwise. I know the rumor mill is strong, but last we heard end of June, and that's I think where we're still landing. So as an operational update, ACH has gone to tour the Sullivan and connected with 99+1. We're learning about a lot of the challenges that they're trying to meet. They primarily center on census increases without contractual support. And I'm very enthusiastic about the recent changes that I've seen to the way that they're managing and staffing the hub resources. I also want to let you know that ACH has offered and remains in connection with 99+1 to provide technical assistance should they need it, along with our other community partners. Those are the updates.
Thank you so much for that, Meg.
Celia, this time.
Celia, sorry.
Nope, that's great. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to introduce Cesar Romet. Oh my goodness, I cannot talk today. Cesar Ramirez, who is the shelter director for 99+1. And he and his team have a presentation for us today about the work that they are doing down at the Sullivan Marina.
All right, thank you for that. Again, my name is Sergio Ramirez. I'm the director here at the Sullivan 499+1 at the Sullivan Arena.
And again, I'm Hannah, I'm assistant director.
And I'm Brian, system administrator.
Next slide. I'll let Hannah start.
So, one of the starting places for this presentation is we just really wanted to talk over the foundational tenets of our company and of the work we do over here at the Sullivan. So these are values that we use in the approaches we've developed, and sorry, I will speak louder. These are just the values that we utilize every day when we interact with guests, and with our long-term decision making regarding shelter.
Hey, Hannah, I'm sorry to interrupt. It's a little quiet. And I want to, because I'm so excited about hearing about all the work you've done. I want to make sure that we can hear you.
Okay, I will start over. Is this a better speaking level?
Yes, that sounds much better.
Tend to have a quiet speaking voice. Okay, so we just wanted to start off the presentation with really understanding or providing an understanding of the values that we utilize in day-to-day operations in interacting with our guests, and the systems that we utilize in long-term decision making, as well as the connections and collaborations we form with community stakeholders. This is our approach to every step of this very complex process and the wheel of homelessness cycles that these individuals experience. Moving forward, I just wanted to highlight how we approach our operations. Next slide.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the successes that we've accomplished since we began our contract, what we are working on, and what we hope to, and what we envision in the future. So beginning in September of 2021, in November is when Brian, Hannah, and myself came into our roles. Since then, we've made some changes to where we are now at a single point entry. So what that means is everyone comes in through the building via one point access. So everyone goes through security, the medics are stationed at the same site, and then the check-in desk is at the front. This allows to provide a better, safe environment for the clients and staff, and everyone then is caught at or checks in at the front desk, allowing for better senses or data to see who's in the building. And then this also reflects on our HMIS data. We've also have now an all-female section. We changed over from the municipality, from the municipal EOC to DOH, and then of course the Warmington.
In December, one thing that we've been really excited is been the establishment of the community engagement room, which has been a wonderful addition to the shelter. Located on the second floor, and the intention of this room was to be dedicated to our community stakeholders in order to develop groups for the guests, staff trainings, any type of group activity, or it has also been utilized as a private space for, say, a case manager to meet with a guest if they needed an assessment or some sort of interview that required privacy.
Sorry to interrupt. This is Tani. I'm just going to let you know, we still can't hear you. What's happening is that if you're not turning the laptop to face the person who's speaking, that I believe that the noise suppression, automatic noise suppression system is kicking on because it thinks that your sound side noise, or it may be confusing you if there's some background noise or echoing if you're in a large space. So we hear Caesar really well because he's facing the front part where the microphone is located. So if you guys could just turn the laptop, and fortunately your video is off, so hopefully it won't be too awkward every time. And then sit close to the microphone, and that turning the microphone should pick you up for those people who are on either side of him.
Thank you so much for pointing that out.
There you go.
I
We hear you
do
perfectly.
apologize for we are sharing one screen here, so I do apologize about that. And I'll just repeat what I said, because I
Thank you.
really think this is important, and I didn't want anybody to miss. So in December, we established the community engagement room for the Sullivan Arena, and the intention of that room was to be dedicated to group activities with the guests via our staff or community stakeholders. We've been able to utilize this room for meetings, for staff trainings, for group classes, with every intention in expanding that to be accessible for agencies and organizations to utilize for any activity to benefit the guests or as a meeting space. We also established an ADA section upstairs. This has been a really wonderful addition as well to the structure of the shelter, because it has feasible access to the dining services as well as the bathrooms for individuals within the shelter that are experiencing disability or are elderly. And then for the hub restructure, I will turn the screen over to Brian.
Hello, this is Brian. So in December, we restructured the navigation center, and in how clients are seen, allowing for more privacy and improved working space for our community partners.
This is Cesar again. So in January of this year, we collaborated with the health department and just kind of brainstormed, because again, safety is really important to us. So we came up with the idea of coupling 99+1 staff with security, and then having them monitor the floors 24/7. So they're paired up just in case we need assistance. So it's something that we work together on coming up with. And Brian's going to talk about point in time count. Brian's going to talk about that further here in the next slide, and what that means and what that looks like.
So the way we maintain data quality for the HMIS data compliance is we pull weekly reports, and we meet with ICA on a bi-weekly basis. We also use a live roster system, and we do daily bunk audits. We complete coordinated entry assessments for the clients that are staying here. Our hub services, our staff members are all licensed service point users, including the director Cesar, Hannah, and myself. And on the 25th of January, we participated in the point in time count. When we participated in this, we were able to collect highly accurate data. Thank you. And since September 2001, when we started using the HMIS software, we were able to increase our data quality by 993.5%. And so the data quality completeness is very important stuff for us. Data quality, we're able to see where the problems in homelessness occur and where we are improving on. Thank you.
So I'm just going to speak on community engagement. Another aspect that we've been really excited about has been our collaboration with so many agencies and organizations in the community. And this has three separate parts, really. So the first part would be the agencies that work on a weekly basis or through referrals from hub services. We also have, agencies that utilize the community engagement room. And the other piece is the community partners that we've sat down with face-to-face meetings to really hear their expertise and understand what populations they serve and how we can develop efficient systems that are solution-based and focus on individual needs of every level of vulnerability and at-risk individuals that we provide services to. So some examples of the relationships we have, like for instance, partnering with Providence and South Central Foundation and its many entities for healthcare providers. Municipal and state department level agencies like the Office of the Governor or the Counter Drug Support Program, DMV and Post Office, working with the core team and the fire department and many nonprofits, and the vast number of religious congregations that have done wonderful things in terms of volunteer work for holidays or on a regular basis. And as I've kind of talked over a little bit, we do offer group classes in the community engagement room, and that's been a wonderful addition to the day-to-day life here, because we all know the importance of building a community and instilling hope through the connection of peers and in your surrounding environment.
So as Hannah mentioned, collaboration and community partners, working together with them is important to us. And so here are some of the goals that we have for in the future, and also ones that we have accomplished and are currently working on. Reopening the bathrooms is something that we continue to work on and hope for in the future. The health clinic, Hannah has spearheaded that project and working with medical providers and bringing the clinic into the Sullivan Arena, decreasing the emergency services, group partnerships, again, just collaborating with the community. This is a team effort, and we want to work together as a team to hopefully solve homelessness. We know that homelessness is always going to be an issue, but we can at least work together as a team, as a community, to work for the people and come together for them. We hope to provide staff training, so de-escalation, trauma-informed care, any type of training that would help our staff better serve the clients. We are able to provide those trainings, and of course, being HMIS data compliant. Again, as Brian mentioned earlier, we meet bi-weekly with ICA, we pull weekly reports and continue to work on our data quality to improve connecting our clients to the resources in the community. And this too also it deals with coordinated entry assessments. So we attend case conferencing. So we're able to connect with different agencies and connect with the clients who have open housing referrals, and hoping to transition them to permanent stable housing, if not to the appropriate resources that they need in the community.
So this is kind of maybe some talking points that we were discussing at the start of this wonderful meeting, where we get a lot of questions of how can we help? What can be done? What do you guys need out in the community? Which are always really wonderful questions to be asked. And we have a lot of barriers in dealing with each individual need of a person. There might be so many barriers that transcend into each and everything that might prevent housing stability or moving forward in someone's case. And as you can see, we have several topics listed, like mental health barriers and how behavioral health groups out in the community can help support the Sullivan Arena guests by maybe offering to host a therapy group or easier referral process to substance misuse treatment. Things like resume writing classes as an employment barrier, or COTS, as we talked about earlier. We are in plain words, in desperate need of more cots for the facility because of our increase in shelter capacity. This is our call to action to help with day-to-day and long-term barriers for each individual, offering anything other than, you know, the things that we can really it's parallel to our values and why we're doing what we do. And we know that a lot of people out in the community want to help provide assistance in this. So if there's anything on this slide that you guys might have a solution or ideas or want to address, we'll have our contact info at the end of the presentation. So again, just to, you know, kind of go over everything we've discussed today in our presentation, our collective message we're trying to communicate to everybody is our intentions always are to advocate on behalf of the guests, to educate community members and our partners about the experiences that people go through and how system development can change and produce long-term support. And we understand that the future of, you know, the congregate shelter and the system of housing individuals experiencing homelessness in the community is uncertain. So we are always doing intentional planning and being mindful of the solutions that exist and speaking with everybody in the community, gaining their expertise, hearing their advice, and coming at this as a team, because we cannot do this alone. And it has been really wonderful to work with everybody and achieve the things that we've done. And we are definitely looking forward to the future and our future goals and what more we can accomplish and how we can best serve this population.
All right, thank you so much for that presentation. That was so informative, and I learned a lot about this. Oh, thank you for the contact information there too.
Yeah, so there's our contact information if anyone has any follow-up questions or wants to contact any one of us for those reasons there, please feel free to.
All right, I do want to open it up for any questions or comments that anyone might have. I know that if you didn't see it in the chat, Julia did have a question. Scroll so I can get back to it. So her question.
I can say it out loud.
Oh,
I can say it out loud, Jessica. Hey, you all. Thanks so much for the presentation and for the work that you're doing over at Sullivan right now and with folks in our community. I'll So I'll just ask my question. I might have a follow-up question. I'm curious to hear how you're serving transgender, gender expansive, and non-binary people within the framework of what you have there at Sullivan, and what spaces you have that are specifically safe and affirming for lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer, and other affiliated people within that space. And I'll just put a little side note here, like I'm married to a minister, I'm a religious person, but there's a lot of religious harm within LGBTQ plus community. And so I noticed a lot of binary spaces in your presentation, as well as a lot of probably really amazing faith folks showing up and doing great work there. I can't wait to hear how you're supporting queer people and trans people at Sullivan. And if you don't have projects right now, I'm going to put my contact information over there so you can reach out to me.
Yes, thank you for that question. And I would love your contact info. Safety, providing a safe environment for the population, LGBTQ plus, is important to me and to everyone here. We want to provide a safe environment for them. Currently, what we're doing is if someone identifies as a gender, specific gender, we try to provide a safe space for them. We do check up on, follow up with them, see how they're doing, how we can best provide services to them, and how we can make them feel safe. If at time, I'll give you an example, provide an example. We had a we had someone transgender stay with us and they did not feel safe sharing a shower or restroom with other individuals. So we accommodated them, made them feel safe. And so again, the LGBTQ plus is important to not only myself, but everyone here at 99+1, and we want to provide that safe space. And I would love any contacts or connections or anything that you have that will allow us to perhaps maybe better serve the population.
Thanks so much. Follow-up question. In the women's only section that you mentioned, are trans women able to stay in that space?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. And then I'm gonna platform here on my Tide box and say to you all that, of course, Choosing Our Roots is tiny and we do not have resource to be able to do all of the things. So I hope you will all continue to work with us to help 99+1, as well as all of our organizations create safe space for queer folks.
Thank you so much for that, Julia. I have a question. This is Jessica. I have a question about the slide where you mentioned that one of your ongoing goals is to decrease the usage of emergency services. And I am a data nerd. And so I just am curious if that's something that you're collecting data on to be able to measure if there was a decrease, or if it was more just a goal of the facility to have a decreased use by the facility of emergency services.
Yeah, so thank you for that question. That's our goal, is to decrease the number of emergency services phone calls. We do work with APD, they provide reports, and then also a lot of that has to do with staff training, come up with a system or process and how to identify a 911 call between a 311 call. And so just working with APD and our staff is our goal.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I've got a question about the bathrooms, and if you have a sense of how not having them affects the quality of life for the people here, and if that would make a very big difference bringing them online.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question again, Roger?
Oh, sorry. I was just asking about reopening the bathrooms that they've not been here for so long, and how that affects the quality of life of the people staying here, or if how significant of a question or a thing would it be to bring them back on for the people?
This is Hannah. Can you hear me? I would say that in a brief response, we definitely have guests that advocate for the reopening of the bathrooms because of the just level of frustrations that one might experience using a porta potty every single day. And we look at it from, all sorts of logistical lenses because of the potential safety concerns, and then also, how that reopening might occur with our staffing. So that can be something we discuss further at another time. If anybody has any other solutions. I will say though, that it wasn't our choice to close the bathrooms, and we have been advocating for the reopening of them, but in the end, we don't get to determine that call.
Thank you.
So I've got a quick question. So I'm just curious. I know that the adult mass is a contractual relationship that has happened between, it was at one time FEMA through the municipality, and then now it's the health department and not the emergency system. But what I don't understand is if the contractual relationship is about shelter and overnight accommodations, wasn't the cost of cots included in just the business transaction of agreeing to adult mass? And is what you're saying that you're having a hard time getting more cots, but you have the resources to purchase them? Or are you asking us as community? We've got cots in our space that we buy to have young people in our gym during overflow. Do you need cots as you're waiting to purchase cots, or is there something I'm kind of missing about how there could be not enough cots? Is that a fair? I don't know if that's how to answer that, but it just, it just seems to me that the number of people, everybody should have the basis of a cot and the same type of space.
Yeah, and thank you for that question. We've had our challenges with the COTS and AHD. They're not, so we've been requesting, I guess. So our census has increased, but then also with that, we've requested some more COTS. And so like I said, we're working through challenges with AHD and then providing funding to buy more COTS. So we've been wanting to get more COTS, but that's where the challenges come from.
Okay, so what they funded is the original amount, but then when they increased it, they didn't fund the additional COTS.
Correct.
And so, yes. Okay, and then can 500 COTS be at a safe distance apart in that space? I know it's a big space, but as I kind of walk through, it does feel like there's some areas where people are closer. And is it truly able to have safe capacity for 500 people there?
Yeah, so my answer to that would be yes, that we are able to provide safe spacing for all the clients. You know, if I feel like if we were approved for the capacity increase to 510, they saw that we were able to. So we are able to provide that.
So now it's just making sure you get enough cots to do that.
Correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have one, if I may. I know I'm a staff. So my question is, and I'm just gonna ask it till somebody mutes me. When I got to tour your space, I was really excited about the work that you guys are doing at the hub and changing those resources. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about what your big vision is for that hub space and how you're asking this community to partner with you on that.
Hey, this is Brian. So what we envision for the future is just the collaboration with other agencies for the clients. And that's what our main focus is on, because it takes a community effort to solve the homelessness population, homelessness problem in Anchorage. So yeah, we're just asking other agencies to come and be a part of the team.
And to definitely to so the services, I guess, that the navigation provides kind of carries over to the community engagement room. So utilizing that room and utilizing it efficiently is part of our future, like the future that we envision too for navigation. So navigation, everyone comes in, they're referred to services in the community, and then also have coordinated entry assessments completed. We are an access point, so anyone who is not currently checked into the shelter can also have a coordinated entry assessment completed. So we just want to do our part in helping the community. Yeah, so just be a player, and yeah, so that's what we hope. Yeah, thank you. Brian and his team have really done an amazing job of coordinated entry assessments. And it's been amazing to watch them work.
All right, well, thank you guys so much. I'm flipping through the chat. I don't see any other questions. I don't see anyone else with any questions or comments. And so I would just invite everyone, if you have anything, please feel free to unmute and ask a question, or type it into the chat, and I'm happy to read it as well.
I'm sorry if I missed it, but is the slideshow going to be available after the presentation?
Yes, so the slideshow will be emailed out.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
But actually, sorry, can I just jump in there? For folks who are members of the public or guests, because we don't require pre-registration, we don't have your email information. So if you want a copy of the presentation, like as soon as it's ready and available, if you want to put your email in the chat right now, that would be great. If you don't feel comfortable, you can select Emily. She is on the chat. You can send her a direct message and give her your email. She just put it in there. We send out the copies of the presentations, including the video, through our website, and also I believe we share it in our weekly digest. So if you get our weekly digest, and then I can try to quickly find the link to our website as well where it's posted. But that would be the easiest way, is just put it in the email and let us know you want it, put it in the chat.
Thank you for that, Tawny. I always forget that part, that people don't have to register to attend, so we may not know their email address.
Absolutely. And I'll just pitch that Emily and Emily's email is a great person to reach out if you have other questions about the advisory council or presentations past or present or any other information. And she works with both the advisory council and Anchorage Coalition to End Homelessness, and she helps coordinate this information. So she's a great starting point for folks if you have not been here before.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much to Cesar and your team, and I just want to echo all of the praise that everyone has given. That was a wonderful presentation. I learned so much and learned so much more from the questions that were being asked and your answers.
Yes, of course. And again, thank you for having us present. And again, we're here to collaborate and work together. So feel free to reach out if you need to.
Thank you so much for that. It doesn't look like we had anyone pre-registered for any member or public comment, but I would welcome anyone if you have a comment or question outside of the presentation from Cesar and his team to go ahead and put that into the chat or unmute and ask your question. Not seeing or hearing anything. So I'd like to move on to good news and celebrations and invite any of our participants or members to share any good news or celebrations you'd like to share with the group.
For Rondi starts next week.
I was downtown yesterday and saw them setting up the carnival, and was very thankful that my kids can now take themselves to the carnival if they want to go. All right, highlighting some advocacy opportunities for any of our members or participants. Coming up on March 1st, we have the next regular assembly meeting. This is broadcast on YouTube as well as accepting live attendance down at the LUSAC Library. Following that on March 2nd is the Housing, Homelessness, and Neighborhood Development Commission meeting. They meet monthly on the first Wednesday of the month, and that is all of those meetings are via Teams. So you can go to their website and get the link to attend that conference call. March 15th would be the second March assembly meeting, again, broadcast via YouTube and in person at the LUSAC Library. The Assembly Committee on Housing and Homelessness meets monthly on the third Wednesday of the month. And again, on the Assembly Committee website, you can get the agenda for the meeting and also the call-in information to be able to listen in on that meeting. And then March 24th is our next Advisory Council monthly meeting from 4 to 5. You can email if you have any presentation ideas, and the link is there for attending via Zoom. And yes, echoing Tawny's plug there, the best way to stay up to date and get information about all of these meetings is to subscribe to the Coalition Weekly Digest. And if you click on her link or go to the ach.org website, click on news and then scroll all the way down. You can put your email address in and subscribe to that information and get the weekly digest, which is full of all of this great information. All right, I want to end this by thanking everyone for attending, thanking everyone for all of the work that you do here in our community, and invite anyone who is looking for a volunteer opportunity to go to bethechange907.org. We finished up a little early today, so just want to thank everyone for coming, and look forward to talking and seeing everyone next month.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.